Pope Francis, the leader of more than a billion Catholics around the world, has died.
Pope Francis has died.
Fratelli e sorelle, buona Pasqua.
Pope Francis, the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, has died. His death has prompted an outpouring of tributes from global leaders, religious figures, and communities around the world. US President Donald Trump paid tribute to Pope Francis in a social media post on Truth Social. He said, "Rest in peace, Pope Francis." US Vice President J.D. Vance, who met Pope Francis just a day before his passing, expressed deep sorrow. He said, "My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him." French President Emmanuel Macron honoured Pope Francis's lifelong commitment to unity and environmental harmony.
The Holy Father is no more. I want to express, first of all, my most sincere condolences to all Catholics around the world, express our support to them. It would be difficult for me to go into much more detail here and to go over the entirety of his pontificate and what Pope Francis brought from Argentina to the Vatican, but it was the vocation of a man, a religious figure, of a bishop, then of a cardinal and a pope who, throughout his life, fought for greater justice.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen described him as an inspiration far beyond the Catholic Church. She added that her thoughts are with all those who feel this profound loss. President Ilham Aliyev of Azerbaijan also expressed deep sorrow over the passing of Pope Francis, praising him as a revered global religious leader dedicated to peace, interfaith dialogue and humanism. Germany's Chancellor-in-Waiting, Friedrich Merz, wrote on X that Pope Francis will be remembered for his tireless commitment to the weakest members of our society. In Moscow, the Kremlin announced that President Vladimir Putin has sent official condolences. In a message addressed to Cardinal Kevin Joseph Farrell, the Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church, Putin wrote that throughout the years of Pope Francis's pontificate, he actively promoted dialogue between the Russian Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese described the head of the Catholic Church as a devoted champion and a loving father.
He was very much a modernist. His message that he sent out echoed in our region during his historic visit to Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Singapore and Timor-Leste. The first Pope from the Southern Hemisphere was close to the people of Australia. For Australian Catholics, he was a devoted champion and loving father.
Israel's President Isaac Herzog called him a man of deep faith and boundless compassion.
I want to use this podium to share my deepest condolences with the Christian world, the Catholic world, and with the Christian communities here in Israel, the Holy Land, and Catholics in the United States for their great loss on the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. You and I are both people of faith, and I know we share the deepest hope that his memory inspire acts of kindness and unity, dialogue between peoples, and hope for humanity.
In the pontiff's homeland of Argentina, the president's office issued a statement and said Argentina deeply mourns the departure of His Holiness. Across the Asia-Pacific, leaders responded swiftly on social media following the Vatican's announcement. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi described Pope Francis as a symbol of compassion and spiritual courage and noted the pontiff's cherished ties with India. Cardinal Pablo Virgilio David, president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, expressed shock and sorrow, calling for nationwide prayers and church bell tolls. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, prefect of the Dicastery for the Laity, lauded Pope Francis's unwavering dedication to the marginalised. He said that Pope Francis was a shepherd to those most often forgotten. May his soul find eternal peace and his legacy live on in our hearts and service. The Archbishop of New York, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, remembered Pope Francis during a morning mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan.
And here we are, this second day of Easter, this Easter Monday, hearing the news of our Holy Father's passing over. Here we are at the greatest prayer of all, the holy sacrifice of the Mass, which we offer, asking the Lord's mercy on his immortal soul, thanking God for the gift that he was to us, and asking for consolation upon God's family.
As the world reflects on the legacy of a man who broke centuries of tradition to bring the papacy closer to the people, Vatican officials are preparing for an historic funeral expected to draw dignitaries and mourners from every corner of the globe.